What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1992 Nissan Skyline GTS-T. Up front is a 2.0-liter inline six, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Skyline for a couple of reasons. Mainly the fact that I love Skylines. It's been a little while since I've driven an R32, but last year I did an R33, and boy, did I love it. So, I'm excited to share the 32 with you today, but before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car, just like this video today, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 2-liter inline six under the hood. It's a pretty low displacement engine, and it's known as the RB20 DET. So RB being the engine family, 20 being the displacement of 2 liters, D meaning dual overhead cam, E meaning electronic fuel injection, and T meaning turbo. Now, from the factory, it only makes about 215 horsepower, which isn't anything terribly crazy, but this car does have a lot of work done to it. The owner, Andy, was kind enough to give me a list of modifications, so let's go through it now. It does have new Fortunato coilovers, G33 wheels with 245 tires, R34 GTT brakes, Greddy truss intake, a GTR 2-way differential, aftermarket downpipe with 3-inch exhaust, Type M side skirts, high cast delete, aftermarket rear sway bar, as well as the engine has been tuned and modified a little bit. So it probably makes a little bit more than the 215. Now, I absolutely adore the RB20 DET. I love the sound that it makes, the power it delivers. It's still a little 2-liter, but it has 6 cylinders. It has usable torque, and I love the feeling of it. It's just so good. The RB20 is one of my favorite engines to ever exist, quite frankly, ever. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Like I said, paired to a 5-speed manual transmission, feels really nice and clicky. Clutch is a very good middle ground. It's not too light like an old Toyota, but it's not too heavy like a modern muscle car. It's right in the middle, and I love that about it. Last but not least, the GTS-T is rear-wheel drive. When you got up to the GTR, then they became all-wheel drive, but this is rear-wheel drive, and like I mentioned earlier, it has that GTR 2-way diff, as well as it does have a high cast delete, which was rear steering back in the 90s. So the rear wheels would actually steer slightly to help with maneuvering. Now, the owner deleted that because those systems tend to go bad after 30 years. You can't really blame them. So that's stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of very plain gauges. On the left is my fuel and boost pressure. Then I have my speedometer and tachometer in the center. And then off to the right, I have my oil pressure and coolant temperature. Off to the left and right of the gauges, I have tune and AM and FM off to the left, as well as my hazard switch and my windshield wipers. This is kind of the junk drawer of the R32 Skyline. Kind of a mishmash of different features here, which is kind of funny in my opinion. But then off to the right of the gauges, I have similar buttons, but this is for my rear defrost, fog lights, and my headlight switches. Steering wheel has been changed out with a Momo unit, and I really like it. It feels nice, and looks very period correct. To the right of me, I do have a very little climate control vent by my kneecap. And then on the door, I have my power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents, as well as my climate controls themselves. Japan got digital climate controls way before us Yankees did. Now, of course, the Skyline was never sold in America, but still, you could just tell the technology in this car is a little bit more advanced than American 1992 cars. Then, as I stated earlier, it does have an aftermarket head unit and a little cubby. And then I have an ashtray and cigarette lighter, of course. And then we have the shifter. The shifter looks nice, feels very nice. Like I said, it's very clicky, very notchy. And overall, I just really, really enjoy it. Then I have the handbrake and a little area. I don't think that this is cup holders. However, we'll do a big friggin' bottle test. It fails. No car older than 1995 so far has passed the big friggin' bottle test, so to be expected out of a vehicle like this. Then I do have an armrest and the seats. The seats are very, very comfortable. Japanese cars in the 90s, and honestly American cars too. You know what? Cars in general in the 90s used to be a lot more comfortable than they are today, because today's cars have airbags in the seats and they have their own safety tests. And cars are a lot safer, but they sacrifice comfort for that. Well, this car might be a little bit less safe, but these seats are very, very comfortable. I love the fabric that they used in the 90s, and overall, these are a home run for me. So, speaking of the front seats, though, let's go take a look at the back seats, because that story might change a little bit. All right, I'm gonna get in the Skyline this way, because you guys have made it abundantly clear in your comments that coupes are supposed to be gotten into from the passenger side. So I'm doing it here with the R32. Didn't really notice much of a difference getting in. Still cumbersome. Here's the thing. I don't like this back seat. My head's hitting the ceiling. My knees are a little bit scrunched. You don't buy a coupe for the back seat, whatever. Here's the thing. The sedan, because they do make a sedan R32. Well, they did. They haven't made them in like 30 years. But they did make a sedan R32. Those are so comfortable in the back seat. This is like trading a Lazy Boy recliner, aka the sedan, for this, which is a stack of Amazon Prime boxes with those weird air pocket things they use for shipping. My head's hitting the ceiling. This is not comfortable. The reason I say this is so bad is because the sedan is so good. So, pick your poison, I guess, there. Let's go hop around the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the R32, and something I do want to note is that this is a coupe with a rear wiper. Very, very odd. Try to think of other coupes that had rear wipers. Not hatchbacks, because this is a trunk. Non-hatchback coupes with rear wipers, very weird. Anyway, pop it up here, and normally there would be a liner. However, this car doesn't have it. It's a decent sized trunk. Nothing really too crazy. However, this is a sports car. It's a sports coupe, and so the trunk space isn't crazy, but definitely very, very usable. If you go on a weekend getaway, maybe week, 2 week long trip, you're not gonna have any issues back here, and I love that. But still, rear wiper, very weird. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love the R32. I love how proportionate it is. I love the look of it. I love the taillights. I don't think it's overly boisterous, or I don't think it's overly styled. It doesn't look like a crazy Hot Wheels car that you would buy your kid at the supermarket, although they do make Hot Wheels of R32s, and believe me, I own a couple. But I think it's very well-mannered, if that makes sense. And I really, really like that. But with that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving another R32? It's been a while since I've driven an R32. I did one way back in the day, funny enough, from the same owner of Andy. How do I feel being back in the seat of one of these? Well, I love it. This, to me, the R32 and R33 Skyline are as close to as perfect as you can get. At least for me. Now, is this the perfect car for a family road trip? No. Is this a perfect car for moving your kids in and out of college? No. But that's what I love about cars, is that there is no perfect answer to everything. There is no one size fits all when it comes to cars. That's what draws me to so many different ones. There's a different car for every mood and condition. But to me, when I want to have fun, when I want to enjoy the pleasure of driving, to feel the freedom, to feel the wind in my hair, to shift my own gears, to blast down a country road or twisty mountain, this is the car that I want. This is the car I want to drive. The Nissan Skyline is as close to perfect as it can be. Let's end the video with doing what this car was designed to do. Let's let it run a little bit. Ah, beautiful. As a coyote runs out into the middle of the road. Wow. Oh, I love this thing, man. I really, really love it. It's the best. That's it. That's all it is. It's just the best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to my very, very good friend, Andy. He is absolutely awesome for letting me review this car, but also just being a fantastic friend of mine over the last 10 years. I can't thank him enough. I love you, Andy. Thank you so much. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.